Hi everyone. Hi everyone. Hi everyone. Hi everyone. Welcome to Dave's Bonsai. It's so lovely in the PSGF. On today's episode, the wind-swept elm. I've got a tiger bark ficus. I said I want that one. Short but sweet. Well, part 2 of the mid-simmer, take 3. Welcome back everyone to oh, whoopsie weiss. Take 4. This Chef Flera Forest compilation, Brazilian Rain Tree. We're going to talk about another wonderful interview we had. A package came to me in the mail today. The 40-year-old ficus. The 40-year-old ficus. What's the official title of it? U.S. National Exhibition.
U.S. National.
The triangular ficus, variegated style. I got the itch to do a little work. The Thanksgiving cactus. On today's episode, a very special trip down memory lane.
Welcome to Bonsai Acres.
Yeah. Can't wait to get back up there. Hey, look everybody. It's Dave's Bonsai Season 8, 2025 year in review. That's right, everyone. It's time for a new season. The Winter Solstice is upon us. At 9:03, Sunday, the 21st of December, 2025, we have our shortest day because Winter Solstice arrives. Shortest day, longest night, and then from here on out, it is smooth sailing, everybody. Okay, we only get a couple of minutes of light about every week or so for the first couple of weeks. But it is a good sign. I can't wait for this time of year. Then we got the holidays, it's the new year, and boom, it's already going to be the first week of January. And there is no turning back. So we've got a lot to discuss on this little year in review. Well, really, we're going to show you just some clips of. So let's get right to it. We're going to kick it all off with some inspiration from Nigel Saunders. He really inspired me to take a peek at a couple of my spruce trees. So here on the turntable in the passive solar green frame, I have my bird's nest spruce, and it's a wonky tree. But look at how wide that nabari is, everybody. Fantastic nabari. But then I have this really weird no branch subdivision here until out here kind of pad, and everything's growing to the left. We're going to go even tinier, everybody. So let's go to an even smaller foliage pad. So here is the little gem spruce. So the little gem spruce, some kind of cultivation from the other spruce trees, super tiny foliage. This is so tiny. It's almost like when you're looking at HO scale miniature railroad trees. So look at that branch right there. Look at all those little itty bitty buds wanting to become foliage this year. Look at all of that brown tips. So here's my fingers for a size of this foliage. Look at that from my finger. Now I've got big, fat, chunky fingers, but oh my gosh, that's so small. Now, sadly, neither of those trees are in my collection anymore. Yeah, well, the bird's nest spruce, someone bought for me this summer as I was having a little bit of a reduction sale, right? But then the really sad one was the little gem spruce that perished on me. After that prune, that work on that tree, that destruction perhaps, wrong time of year. It was in the passive solar green frame. I think it was sandwiched between a couple of trees, and I missed some watering, as I said there. Such a bummer, though. I was super, super sad. But let's keep moving on. Here was another repot I did earlier in the year. A pretty cool tree. People responded to this video because it was kind of a funky tree. It was a new juniper. Well, new to me anyway. Check it out. We have our tree out of the pot, and we've gotten rid of most of the soil around the roots. Now it is a glazed, slightly glazed white pot, which I love the deadwood shining off of here. But that's probably too small of a pot. This thing's getting a little more robust, and this we would be repotting it into a bigger pot right away. So this one is not going to work. So this helps with both angles. This angle, now we can see more thickness down here. just a little bit with that live vein popping up. And then this side, we've got the cascade going that way, so we can kind of pick and choose and see how this grows this year and what might be the better cascade. But let's go ahead and give this nice spin here. It is March the 1st. We are 2 months of the year gone. Things are starting to wake up in the past the solar green frame, and I couldn't be having more fun. That is fantastic.
And wouldn't you know it, I don't have that tree in my collection either. Yeah, that's right, I sold that one this past summer too on the reduction sale. So let's keep on moving. Here's one of my favorite trees in my collection, and I did work on it or show it off this year a couple of times. It's the windswept elm from Candace. Now, I thought I lost this tree too this late summer. But, well, let's check it out.
The elm tree, the windswept elm from Candace, our good friend Candace. So we have to get this out of the pot and see what we're going to do with it. One of the good times to repot, not just the right time of year, spring for most trees, summer for tropicals. It's really good to repot when you get a new tree from someone else so you can kind of see what it's all about. This is one heavy pot, probably 20 pounds of pot there. There we go. So it's not a deep pot by any stretch. And I had mentioned in my previous shows that I wanted to raise this up off the pot a little bit more like this to get this curl up here and that way. So I think find that perfect spot where we like that tree. We got this much more height. It used to be down here, I think. We got a little bit more height to this tree now. We want that to clear up. We have a little bit of a wobble to the tree, but I don't want to tighten it down any tighter. This is going to keep it in place. We did not get this buried, so this root is just going to come right off. We've kind of gotten everything a little bit more compact now. We've got our kind of lines of this nice big branch out here, and then there's one down here. There's one in the middle here. That's not a bad spot. They are kind of close together here.
Now, I thought I lost that tree too. At the end of the summer, towards early fall, after some missed waterings, that tree was looking pretty horrid. But it rebounded tremendously, and it's in really good shape up at Bonsai Acres in the cold frame. Thank goodness. And then here's a tree. You know what? Come to think about it, I don't think I have this one either. It's the huge tiger bark. Let's take a quick peek.
I'm repotting here in my plant room in March. It's not summertime for a tropical, but again, I have great growing conditions, and it'll be in the greenhouse in a couple of weeks and then outside, and it is energy positive. You may have heard me say that the last couple of times I've done some repots, but when your trees are pushing out new growth, evergreen trees in particular with like this kind of tropical, they don't lose their leaves unless we're over or under watering them. And hey, it's growing, it's pushing out new growth, it's in a bit of an energy positive, so I think we can go ahead and put this into a new pot, trim up a few roots. And here we have it, everybody. We have this pretty decent root system. It looks like it's pretty 360 flare, which is nice. One big bulbous root at the bottom here that we will work on, but we're gonna put this thing into a different pot. Watering this thing thoroughly, letting the water drain on through is a really good thing. Get rid of that dust and powdery situation. Now we have a really balanced set of soil in here. Bigs on the bottom, mediums on the top, and this is repotted and looking really nice. Now we don't see any of the exposed roots anymore like we did before, but this is gonna be down in the soil and I think gonna do some really good things as we come into this new growing season.
Now, I'd love to see that tree in about 3 to 5 years and see what the new owner does with that tree. That's right, I don't have that one either. Now, in 2025, I took another road trip, just not quite as far this time, but I stopped to see a couple of friends in Chicago.
I'm jumping in the car this morning. I'm heading east again, but this time, we're going to stop at Chicago. First stop, Toma, Wisconsin, to gas up and take a little bathroom break. The radar is sure active in Minnesota and Wisconsin. At a time there, I was driving right between the edge of snow and rain. Let's hope it sticks to the rain. We're going to go see Tom in Chicago, and then my friend Steven's coming up for a special project. More on that to come.
We're just outside of Madison. It's time for a quick lunch. I was kind of craving some Chinese food, so we're at the Happy Walk. Now, this was a great little restaurant, and they had really good food. Interesting, not very many people here, so you always worry that you're not going to get, good food, good service. The place was spotless, and the food was, Actually, it was about a 3 nose blow lunch today. Yeah, if I'm blowing my nose, you know it's spicy, and I'm loving my food.
We're here in Tom's basement. We're not going to record a full-length video, but I'm on the road trip to go see Steven in a few moments for the big swap. But enough about the swap. I got to give this guy a present, so let's get him all situated for this.
Oh, what's up? Oh, before you open it,
I'd love to show you what is going to happen with Tom, but he gets to show you on his channel. So, back to my show.
And like that, we're at the Chicago Botanical Gardens in their volunteer area. We just had a great interview with Chris, and welcome everybody, Steven. So,
Thanks for meeting me here.
Yeah, of course.
And hanging out with me and doing this. So this is the Weird and Crazy Bonsai Swap Challenge that really only he and I are doing so far, but we're hoping some other people jump on board. So Indianapolis, Twin Cities, we met in Chicago, and we're swapping trees.
Basil leaf hawthorn, so it's got very small leaves for a hawthorn.
Basil leaf hawthorn.
It's cool. It'd be fun to play with. Yeah. Now, if you didn't take a ton of root and maybe you prune some of the foliage, right, you lessen the transpiration.
Right.
Keep it cool. Keep it maybe in a shady, cool place. Make sure it stays well hydrated.
Yeah.
You know, you don't know what's in there.
Right, and
So,
just less stress root.
It seems like a really rich mix if you take that.
This right here,
Triple.
this right here was 3 feet tall this summer, right?
Yeah.
And if
It could
I
be a
had,
twin, but it could
Totally.
still be a triple. But
yeah,
maybe
You're saying
this is-
take
take
this
this whole
trunk
thing
off?
off. Yeah,
Well, I'm
Yeah.
as a possibility.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Well, cool.
Thank you.
Let's stop recording and go have some lunch and talk more bonsai.
What a fun road trip and what a fun challenge that I don't think anybody else has picked up yet, but we'll see how that thing ends up here in another about year and 4 or 5 months. Yeah, we're only about 9 months in or so. And you know what? It's going to be a fun result anyway because 2 buddies working on a bonsai tree. I think it's fantastic. So what's next on the list here? Oh yeah, we're going to get serious for a moment here. Yeah, this was a tough year for a lot of reasons. And one of those reasons, as you've heard, is I don't have a lot of the trees in my collection. Now, I did sell a few, but I also lost a few. And then I thought I would do an how do you say that? In memoriam. Yeah, it's always a tongue twister. In memoriam. So I dedicated some time to the concept of, hey, you know, we lose trees and it's tough. So I lost a few trees and a family pet. Let's take a quick revisit.
In bonsai, trees die. Sometimes those deaths don't affect us, while others are quite sad after years of hard work and dedication to create a beautiful piece of living art. We sink our hearts and souls into our trees, and when they die, it makes us do what we tend to do with death, reflect. I've had a pretty great journey with bonsai, and in many ways, it's just getting started. I have lost a lot of trees in my 9 years of the hobby, and here are just a few. Deja. She was a quiet soul, with us for 14 years. Mama to our other cat, Bo, who we lost 2 years ago this May. Today I had to say goodbye. She reminded me to take time to reflect. Take time to be with the ones you love and hold them tight. I know, it sounds cliche, but we all figure it out when we lose someone or something important in our lives. I was able to sit with her last night and again this morning to just be with her. She placed her paw on me, perhaps to start to say goodbye, and tell me everything will be all right. The hope we have with our mistakes, with our trees, and in life is that we pause, reflect, and hopefully have learned something. My trees and pets have brought great joy in my life, and I think I have learned a few things. I have learned that I have too many trees, and maybe losing some because of it. I've learned that I need to take the time to take care of my trees, each and every one of them. I've learned that I need more patience with this hobby. I've learned that I have so much still to learn. I've learned that I really need to work on a healthy tree whenever possible. I've learned that sometimes you need to take risks and try things that are new to you. I've learned that sometimes those things don't work. And I've learned that sometimes you just have to put the scissors down. Take care of you. Take care of your bonsai. Take care of each other. And I'll see you on the next one.
It is tough to lose trees, but it does happen. Just keep in mind, have a little plan for your trees for when life kind of gets in the way, because, you know, at some point, it might get in the way. So let's bring it back to something positive.
Well, you know, it started from something that wasn't as positive, but I won't go down that rabbit hole. My buddy Mike had some changes in his life, and so he needed to get rid of some trees in a hurry. So I picked up a few. This one, well, you'll know it was my favorite.
I looked at this trunk, and this is how you buy bonsai, right? If you're ever at a nursery store and you're looking at trees and you like the tree, the foliage, the size, there's a pretty thick trunk. Look at that trunk down below, right? Look at that nabari. This is where you spend most of your money, on the trunk of a tree, and you can grow the rest. This is a taxus. This is a yew. And now this one has some bigger, thicker roots. They're not as fine. I just rinsed it off in the pond, and you get a close-up view here, and you can see inside this tree, inside these crevices. Look at that. Yeah, there you go, Mike. There's the big one. That is the one that I saw, and I said, I want that tree. And I have this tree now over a rock. It's too bad we can go ahead and see the wires on here to hold this thing in place, but that's okay. Even in time, we could cut this thing off after a year of growth and just cut those wires off, because it's just going to be in the pot heavy and the roots will be growing out and spreading out towards the edges of the pot. We'll pull it up a little bit higher the next time we repot to see more of that rock. We cut back pretty heavily, about 50 to 60% of the green, but left green on every branch that we kept. We'll let some light in here, fertilize, and we'll see what happens with back budding and more growth this year.
Mike's trees are all looking pretty good except for the Colorado blue spruce. I think I'm going to lose that one. Ew, we'll talk about that maybe next year in 2026. But in the meantime, we got to talk about trees getting bigger. Yeah, how do we get that big, thick, girthy trunk, that big nabari? Well, check this out.
I'm talking about the age-old question, how do we get our tree trunks to be thicker, right? Everybody says, put them in the ground, put them in bigger pots, make your trees thicker. Let me show you some of the things that I have in the ground as a couple of examples. I've chopped it here this year, right there. It was up to here, chopped it back. Look at the growth already this year, and down way low by this rock. Yeah, about that thick right now. Leave it in there this year. Maybe next spring, I'll take it out and put it in a pot. This willow tree, this willow bush shrub thing, was put in the ground in my property here at my house about 5 or 6 years ago. Look at my hands around this trunk. Now this one, after last year in the spring, I think I chopped this one 2 falls ago a little bit, cut a couple of bad branches off, and then it started to throw up all its suckers down below. And so last fall, look where I chopped it last fall. And it's got 4 or 5 branches right at the tip there. But look at down below here. I got a triple trunk right there. This right here, 3 branches, 1 back there. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 right in here, and this main old trunk. Now, if I were to chop it in half again and get some new branches there, plus all these thicken up, it's gonna be a very interesting tree.
Now, about midway through the summer, I had realized I really hadn't done a lot of shows, and so I made this massive update show that took 3 whole episodes, 509, 10, and 11. Here's some snippets from those 3.
Now, we're going to stick in front of the PSGF for the first couple trees here, and it's my big forest. Now, this is forest number 2, and I've done nothing to this all year except for just this morning I started to clip a couple of leaves. So, I gave him my amber maple triple trunk, and he gave me his basil leaf hawthorn. But it looks like a forest with all these weeds here. We've got some of this kind of Spanishy moss here, which can take over. Is sticking up roots from this pine, and there's mycorrhiza on there, which is really good to see. So a little disturbance of the roots there.
Back to the theme of when life happens to you, a gentleman who couldn't take care of his trees anymore had to get rid of some in a hurry. He connected with Minnesota Bonsai Society and my friend Mark. And Mark said, hey Dave, do you want this Schefflera? Hey, so this tree is now mine. So the legacy of this tree continues.
One of the benefits of being the coordinator of workshops through the Minnesota Bonsai Society is I get to know about everything that's going on. And when someone calls us and has a tree that they need to get rid of or don't want anymore, I'm often one of the first ones to be called. This one I got from a friend who heard from someone from the society who was going to leave town and couldn't take this big Schefflera forest clump style with them. So, it's time for a new pot. After I thinned out the forest, I gave it another good thorough watering. It was ready then to put into the PSGF. A fun little project with a tree that was given to me, and now it's got a new home, a new look. Can't wait to see what it'll do.
I really like how that forest is coming along. Check out the playlist for the Schefflera forest and you'll be able to see where it's at right now. Now, I have a couple of trees in my collection over the last couple of years. Since my road trip to now, I've picked up 2 of these. Yes, the BRT.
I purchased this tree from a friend from the Minnesota Bonsai Society who is starting to deplete his collection. He'll be moving into a new place where he won't be able to keep all his trees. So I was able to pick up this beautiful BRT, the Brazilian rain tree. So number 2 in my collection. And it's got a lot of work to do on this one. A couple of different trunk lines I'm going to be working with. But first we have to get it in a pot. And what pot might that be today? After tamping down some of the soil and giving it a good watering, it was time to pluck away some of the foliage. Now, the tip of this tree is a little out of focus here, but out of frame actually. But I was basically shorting everything down, bring it into the profile. But then I had to make a decision. Do I cut this tall central leader one off? Do I cut the back one off? And so I went on the side of a little more conservative, left that tall one in the middle, and I'm just going to let this recover all for the rest of this year, and we'll make those decisions next year. So I have a new tree and a new pot ready to go. The BRT, loving the pot from down under. I think it'll be in good shape.
Now, how could a year in review be a review without the amazing, crazy 9 hours and 16-minute marathon of the Bonsai Expo live streamed? Wow. A big thanks to everyone who helped out. What a fun time. I don't think we're going to do a 9-hour plus one again. Hey, but my friend Dave and I, Dave Harding from Dreaming of Bonsai, we're going to live stream at least once a month here for the next year and have some chats about bonsai. I hope you join us. But now, in the meantime, let's go check out a couple of my favorite highlights. Now, I talked to a lot of wonderful people. We got some live stuff that happened that was fantastic. But when I met with Jonas Dupuis and my interview with Angelica Ramirez, well, that was one of the winners of the entire expo.
As you know, my name is Angelica Ramirez. I am based in the United States. I'm originally from Florida, but I'm currently the seasonal bonsai assistant at the Chicago Botanic Garden. And my path has taken many, many directions in my life to get to bonsai. I started as a classically trained cellist. I was on the USA team for archery. I was in flight school for helicopter, and it was in flight school where I discovered I needed something to relax a little bit. It was a little stressful. And I discovered bonsai and I fell in love with it. And in that period, this was about between 2017, 2019. 2019 was when I discovered bonsai. But that was the period where I was doing a lot of self-discovery. I was testing my artistic boundaries. I started painting. I started watchmaking and so many different hobbies. And that's just kind of where everything began. Was the inspiration came from bonsai.
The foundation for upping anything, whether it's ourselves, I'll say 2 things actually. The number 1 is focus on the health of the trees. If your trees are healthy and producing the kind of growth that will allow them to develop quickly, that's going to give you the opportunity to do more work and get more payback from it. The other is, I'd say, invest in yourself. A lot of people buy many whatever it happens to be, whether it's tools, trees, pots, whatever the habit happens to be. But if you invest in yourself, in studying, in learning, in classes, in reading, in watching videos, participating in events like this, investing in yourself is going to be, over time, by far the most effective way to kind of get where you're going. And if all the money just is going out and none of it's really making you the bonsai practitioner you want to be, think of what things you can do, throughout the year that might start tipping the balance a little bit, so that you're arming yourself with the knowledge you need when you're alone with your trees to get the absolute most out of it that you can.
Another one of my favorites was my time with Sarah Rayner. Yeah, she lives in my backyard down in Red Wing, Minnesota. Can't wait to talk with her again and get a few more pots. Now let's go to age. I've got a 40-year-old bonsai tree that I picked up again from someone else who just couldn't take care of it. Boy, the theme is loss and recovery. Yeah, let's check out the 40-year-old ficus.
A former club member, he and his wife got this as a wedding gift over 40 years ago. We might be pushing 45 plus now on this tree. And this is starting to take shape. Go back and look at this link, series rather. And when you watch where I started and where it is now, it already is quite a transformation.
But there's a lot to be said for cleaning things out and putting the energy to where I want it to grow. If I have energy going where I don't want it to grow, I think that's a waste of energy, and that's also going to maybe make a couple of spots where maybe there's 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 branches growing from one area, and then we get those bulges right away. We want to make sure we can tackle that as soon as possible. So as we spin it around, you know, could that be a front someday? This is just way away from us, but who knows? We could still gouge more of this out, I suppose. But there's the tree. This was a tree given to me. So this tree so far, other than bonsai soil, this is a pot from my parents. This is almost like a free tree. So how can you go wrong by experimenting?
Can't wait to see the next 4 to 5 years and what that tree does. Yeah, because I still have that one in my collection. Now, this past year in 2025, I got to go see the U.S. National Exhibit, and I met up with some friends along the way.
Off to the airport. Nationals are this weekend.
It's kind of what it looks like when you get to the airport at 3:30 in the morning. You always have to be prepared going to the airport a couple hours early, right? Feels kind of like a ghost town. I am going to Rochester, but we have a layover in Detroit. Now, one of the problems of getting here so gosh darn early. The tram is out of service. Please use the walkways. Can't even get in yet. Starbucks is always open. We're in Detroit, getting ready to go to Rochester.
Oh, well, we made it. We are in Rochester, New York. The Nationals exhibition is going on this weekend, and some friends are coming to town. I debated to film or not to film. I just want to enjoy the trees and the people and try to focus so much on making a video. But I gotta show some of the experience because, well, that's what I do. And, well, for those of you that can't come, thought we'd get a little bit of a expo for you. Who knows what we're going to show? I've been in better Airbnbs. Don't know that I've been in worse. It's fairly clean. It's all right. But it is above a bar.
So I'm here with Steve from Steve's Backyard Bonsai. Hey, Steve.
How you doing, man?
Are you sick of me yet?
Not yet.
You and I we've been through this 4 or 5 times.
Oh, yeah. And we could do 4 or 5 more times.
Yeah, and we probably could. Why should people come here, Steve, do you think? And give people a reason why to come. Why would they join us next time?
Inspiration.
Oh.
You see so many nice trees. You say, oh, I have a tree kind of like that. And in 50 more years, it's going to look just like that.
Just like that, right.
But really, and we met some nice people online, people who are just getting started into the hobby.
Yeah.
And they come through here, and you walk out and you just want to do bonsai.
Yeah, it just totally inspires you, for sure. And the trees, there are a lot of big ones, but there's enough small ones.
Yeah,
There's just an amazing amount here. And there's even a pet within the trees this year.
Oh yeah, there was a little gecko in a banyan-style tiger leaf ficus. He made amazing.
Tiger bark ficus.
Tiger bark ficus.
Tiger bark ficus,
yeah.
Huge. We got pictures of that too. And even of the lizard.
It's hard to find.
Yeah,
it's hard to find, but we did find him at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Do y'all remember a road trip I took about a year ago east of the Mississippi? And I said over and over again, hey, if you come to this event, make sure you give yourself plenty of time. Now, who is it that said that PAs couldn't be bonsai?
A big thank you to all the fans of YouTube. Right, we bumped into about a dozen people.
Yeah,
I
understand that they recognized you, but actually some recognized me.
Some recognized Steve. That was that.
If you have a chance to go see any expo, go check one out. Now, I'm going to be at the Pacific Coast Expo
in 2026 in the fall. Now, rumor has it they were going to push it to the January of 2027, but either way, I hope to see out the Pacific Coast Expo within a year or so. That'll be a lot of fun. Now, let's get back to it. What do we have next? Oh, yes. Now, this tree is creating a lot of controversy. You know, Dave Stott, he all of a sudden came home with one. Don't know how that happened. He actually blamed me. Dave, I'll take the blame.
Taking a peek, thinning it out again, and then just letting it go all winter long before we get a nice another push. Now, we've had such extended growing. Look at how thick this is. And we just worked on this one even just a few weeks back, and it's all lush and going crazy. So we're going to go ahead and make some decisions on this guy today. So we all put trees in pots too early. If we want them to grow big and strong and big girth, I should put this in the ground, which I can't in Minnesota, or in a big pot, which is why it's in this big pot. So it can get a lot of growth and spread out. Eventually we'll put it in a shallower pot and it'll look even more majestic. So it's a little out of size, and I understand that, but again, it's to grow. It's in development stage. We want this thing to shoot out all kinds of growth. Here we have the variegated triangularis ficus tree. Yeah, such cool leaves, such great vibrant variegation there. So taking a look at the tree, that's, I think, the proposed front right now. And got all kinds of growth. It's healthy in the plant room. The top is, is pushing out growth again and getting a little bit thicker. So this one is in good shape. So it's healthy enough for me to go ahead and repot. This is going to go back in the plant room shelf right behind me and hopefully have a ton of success here. We're going to start fertilizing these trees here in the next week or so to get them maybe starting to kick into even more growth. Fantastic. Again, you do you, I'm going to do me. Put them in pots, don't put them in pots, put them in the ground if you can. But I just love it, and I think it looks fantastic. And maybe I'll put a BRT in here in the future, but for right now, we're going to keep it in its new home. That's right, the triangularis variegated ficus.
Now, in the YouTube world, they call getting people's attention and then having, well, who knows what behind it, clickbait. Some fancy title, something that's going like, oh, I got to check that out. I don't really believe in that and do that in my bonsai channel and YouTube here, but I think this one was a little bit of clickbait, but the response I got was amazing, and I didn't really mean it to be clickbait because it was in all honesty the truth. It was titled, When Life Kicks You in the Teeth.
And so that's what today's show is all about. A couple of trees that woulda, coulda, shoulda, and we'll see what happens and see if they survived.
Now, first up is a bit of good news. One of my trees that I got from my dear friend Steve out on Long Island from Steve's Backyard Bonsai is my first ginkgo biloba. Now, I'm also part of Ginkgo Fest that I got from Dave Harding, and that tree is alive as well, but not as yellow yet. This one, I've never taken out of the pot from when I got it from Steve, and it just sat all year this year and just grew thicker in its pot, like if it was in the ground. And so if I tip it up here, you can see the bottom of the base there. It's a little bit thick down there. I like that. And look at this bud right down here, this leaf. Well, maybe I'll get a branch that can grow out of there next year, huh? And there's a bud here that the leaf already fell off. And there's a bud in the back here and a couple spots where more can grow. These trees were in tough shape, and there was some lack of watering going on. And you can see left to right, lower left corner, there is a very brown tree, and that is one of my barberries in my beautiful Sarah Rayner pot with the moss. One of my favorite trees of late, in tough shape.
Do, as always, when I say take care of you and take care of your bonsai, do both.
As always, thank you all so much for your continued support. Now, my goal for 2026 is to hit 1 million views. Well, I'm at 979,000, so I'll probably get there fairly quickly. And I'm approaching 8,000 subscribers. But all that aside, it's those of you that continue to reach out and talk back and forth and chat on the videos. You know, this community is so amazing. Thank you so much. I can't thank you enough, so I'll just move on to what's next. But I need my cheat sheet. What is next? Life kicks you in the teeth. Oh yeah, I'm giving thanks. How about the Thanksgiving cactus update?
And my Thanksgiving cactus, well, has already bloomed. And just got a little remnant of a flower here. We've got a couple of 1, 2 little itty bitty buds, 3, 4. They're just kind of petering out, and it's just, this is going to be my time to go ahead and work on the Thanksgiving cactus. It's the annual tradition. It's one of the easiest trees I take care of. I let it bloom, I cut it back, I let it grow. It grows all season, I let it bloom, I cut it back. So today's the cutback. Now,
I've been considering the design and shape of this tree and what I might do differently this time, so let's follow along and see what we do. Short and sweet today, the Thanksgiving cactus. Happy holidays to you in advance with the Thanksgiving season so close. And I think, yeah, time to put this one back on the shelf. Now, not as many blooms as before, but the cactus is still doing well, and I've even put a little wire on it since you saw it last. Yeah, I wired my Thanksgiving cactus. We'll have to see what happens with that. Now, what are we going to wrap things up with? Well, I have a new holiday tradition, I think. It's a trip down memory lane today with the gathering of the holiday tree, now a very special time in my family. So we're going to go back, way back in history, 40, 50 years ago. My dad took my brothers and I out into the woods to cut down our very own Christmas tree. When kids started coming along, that's right, my daughter first and then my son, we would go out and get Christmas trees. Now, not all tree gathering days were full of snow. Some interesting, we always wished for white Christmases, right? Or white snowy trips to get the tree, not always the case. And so I've been doing this for over 30 years, and this year, due to some changes in lifestyle, changes in situations, I wasn't able to go out to the tree farms this year and go gather the tree. Now again, we've done it for many, many years. It's a great tradition. My kids are still very fond of it. Here's the scoop. I went to the nursery today instead, one of my favorite nurseries, Gerton's, in town, and I went to go get something for my holiday tree. And there you have it, everybody. My new possible tradition with gathering the Christmas tree. And if I can say so myself, it's kind of a cute little display. That's going to wrap it up for 2025 Year in Review. Thanks for watching, as always. Thank you so much for your unwavering support. It's because of you that I keep doing this. Well, because I love it so much. And I love to share. And I love when you share. So keep up the comments, all the questions and concerns, everything. Keep it in there. So 2026, a lot on the horizon, including some more Bonsai Acre stuff, right? So I hope you stay tuned. I hope you had a fantastic holiday or are having one or will have one whenever you're watching this. And I can't wait for 2026 to bring good things to all of you in bonsai and in your life. So as always, no changes here, everybody. Take care of you. Take care of your bonsai. And you know what? We're going to catch you very soon on the next one.